Welcome to this episode today. Today, I'm going to be talking all about why you should compare yourself. I know that this is the opposite of what we get taught so many times. We tell ourselves, and people tell us, just don't compare yourself to somebody else, or don't compare yourself to your past self. But I really think it is important to compare yourself to other people and to yourself. And I want to tell you why. This is going to be one of the key things that is going to help you to get what you actually want in life. Okay? Now, there are two ways to compare yourself that I like to think about. The first one is the one that we are cautioned not to do a lot, and this is the compare and despair. So that is when you look at what other people are doing, or you look at your past self and you see how amazing they are. And then you look at where you are right now and you decide that where you are is not good and that other people have it all figured out and that you don't, and that you're never going to get what you want. That is not the kind of comparing that I'm talking about. But comparison is very important because we are social creatures. We are creatures of habit. And because of that, 90% of our lives are driven by habit. We want to pay attention to what those habits are. So much of the time, people will, especially my clients, people that I talk to, I'll find that you are so focused on what you don't want in your life that it's the only thing that you see. So that's why it is important to compare, and we're going to let go of compare and despair. And I want to introduce you to a new concept today, which is compare and dare. Now, this is comparing yourself to other people that have what it is that you want in your life, and then daring to dream that maybe, just maybe, that's possible for you. So a lot of you, I know you listen to this podcast because you experience chronic fatigue. You have a lot of times in your daytime where it feels like a nap is the best option. You just can't because you're so overwhelmed by everything that's going on in your life, and your body just feels like it's giving out. You're getting a lot of symptoms. Maybe there's some digestive distress. Lots of things are happening in your body, and it just feels so overwhelming. Okay, this is a pattern that your body has continually gone to over and over again out of habit, and through no fault of your own, by the way. I think that people hear this concept, and I think I heard it too. When I very first heard about this, I thought, oh, well, if it's just a habit that my body does this because of the way that I relate to my emotions, and then also how my nervous system is regulated or dysregulated, then obviously they're telling me that it's my fault. And nothing could be further from the truth. These are just patterns that your body has picked up from so many places. With the study of epigenetics, these things have happened to our bodies from events that have happened to people that were around before we were even born. They found that they've done studies in rats where they have had the mother rat be introduced to something that was painful and stressful while she was smelling cherry blossoms. And whenever she would smell cherry blossoms, she would have a stress response to that. But it wasn't just the mom that ended up having that. It was her children ended up having, anytime they would smell cherry blossoms without the painful stimuli with it, mom got stressed out when she started to smell cherry blossoms. And so children that were not even born at that moment, this is all in rats, it's not in humans, but this is where we start our evidence. These rats, their children were experiencing stress from this. Can you tell it's summer vacation? All right, love you, buddy. Okay, go play.
Mom,
go play. Okay, bye. All right.
Past the part where Harry Potter got escorted into Gryffindor.
He's listening to Harry Potter right now. So good. Okay, go tell Hazel. All right, love you, kiddo. Okay, so what happens is that there are things that are wired into you before you were even born. This is not your fault. But with this information, which is such good news that you can understand it now, there is power. There is information that your brain is not static. It can learn new things. And one of the best ways to learn new things is through modeling, watching other people, comparing yourself to other people, comparing to where they're at. If they have something that you want in your life, and instead of despairing because you don't have it yet, actually daring to realize if they have that, then that is possible. This is one of the things that I did with one of my coaches who taught me so many of these concepts. I have an incredible coach, Betsy Jensen. She coaches all exclusively on chronic pain. And one of the things that she taught me was that my brain didn't have to stay where it was at. She experienced so many physical symptoms in her body, and through learning about her nervous system and how she was relating to the stressors in her life, which is a lot of the work that I also do with my clients through coaching, that she was able to reduce and eliminate so many of her symptoms. And because I could see that that was possible for her, it didn't feel possible for me at that moment. But knowing that she was a living example of that it was possible, that brought me so much peace, and also this curiosity of if she can eliminate some of these symptoms that she's had in her body by changing how she relates to the external stressors, what's possible for me? Because I'd had a kidney transplant. I had iron infusions. Because I was so anemic. I have all of these medications that I'm taking that are supposed to help me to feel better. And yet here I was still experiencing extreme fatigue a lot of the time. And so by learning, hey, I want to compare myself to her and then dare to believe that these symptoms could be eradicated. These things could be changed. I went to Betsy for chronic pain management, and my chronic pain that I'd had in my hip for 25 years is now eliminated because she showed me what was possible. And that's the cool thing about coaching. So many things happen. So many new concepts that I didn't even know were possible to help impact my body positively have completely changed my life experience. So if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that last year my big goal was to run a triathlon for the first time since my transplant without any chronic pain. Each year I am doing a little bit something new. And it's been so fun, especially with this amazing body that experienced so much chronic fatigue for over a decade. As I am figuring out what it is that I want to do new each year, this year has been my year of pickleball. In January, I started to learn how to play pickleball, and I joined up with an amazing group of ladies from my church that I used to play with them back when we lived in Ohio before my kids were born, and I have a son that's almost 16. So these amazing ladies that are 20, 25 years older than me have been playing together for 20 years now. I came back here and they're still playing. So they taught me a new game, and it is hard. It is hard when I see them and how practiced they are, how amazing they are, and I get out on the court and I'm the worst one there. It's challenging to not let my brain go to compare and despair, and to see the easy shots that I feel like, oh, I should be getting that shot. And like, as we were turning, I'll give you a little bit of an example. As we go in kind of a circle, we'll like rotate around because there's a lot of ladies that play. We'll do doubles. And so my brain wanted to glom onto this noticing of, hey, do you notice that whenever you switch partners with anybody, doesn't matter who the other partner is, whatever side you're playing on, they always lose. And my brain wanted to make this a problem. And also it was escalating my nervous system state because my brain was believing something like, maybe they don't really want me here because they could have so much more fun if they weren't playing with somebody that is so inexperienced. And so guess what would happen? I'd start to get symptoms in my body. I'd start to feel increased fatigue. I'd start to feel some pain in my legs or whatever was going on. So this is what I do all the time, is be asking myself, what is something new that I want to do, and who do I want to compare myself and dare myself to become like them, to know what they know, to learn what they already know. So about a year ago, I was in another program that was talking about what are your dreams and what do you want them to be? And part of mine is I want to be healthy, and I am healthy because I had that desire. I felt like I wasn't healthy back in November 2021. I had recently graduated from the life coach school and was about 6 months into my life coaching practice and 20 pounds heavier than I'd ever been. And I didn't feel healthy. I felt very sluggish. I was kind of just eating whatever. And I knew that something needed to change. And good thing I'm a life coach because I knew what to do. I knew that it didn't start with my actions. What it needed to start with was my brain and my nervous system combined together to create some synergy and some really awesome results. So I was in this program about what new dreams that I wanted to dream. And like I said, I wanted to dream of a new healthy body. And part of that program has these incredible 5 questions that it asks about your dream. So I want you to be thinking, what is something that you are dreaming about? Because when you are doing that, your brain is going to tell you, wait a second, is that really possible? And is that really something that you should actually even want? Maybe you shouldn't even want that. Your brain starts to judge what you want to create. So I'm going to tell you these 5 questions really quick that I love to apply to any goal, any desire, so that I can get fully on board and then compare to people that already have that and dare to dream that it's possible for me. Okay? So these 5 questions are: first one, does imagining living my dream create more life for me? Does this dream align with my core values? So you got to decide what your core values are. Will creating this dream cause me to grow? Does this dream require help from a higher power, a help that's greater than my own intellect? And the final one is, will creating this dream bring good for others? When you answer those 5 questions, and if you can say yes to each one of those 5 questions, that's when you know I've got an amazing dream that's going to be good for the planet, good for the people in my life, and good for me. Because it's easy for your brain to say, well, I know you want to be healthy, but if you're going to start exercising, then you're not going to have as much time for your kids. And maybe your husband's going to have to do some more work because you are paying attention to you and you're not doing everything for them. But when you've already decided ahead of time that what you want to create is going to bring good about for them too, it makes it really easy to talk back to those thoughts when they come up and want to pull you into compare and despair. It's like, remember, you said you wanted to be here. You wanted to have some energy. And look, you don't now. So you better despair. So, okay. I really want to tell you 3 things that get in the way and really put you in this compare and despair. First one is thinking that other people know what they are doing and that you don't. This is not true. People don't know what they're doing. I can attest to this. Second thing is thinking that there's some special way to do what you want and that you just don't have what it takes. This is also your brain buying into that story of fear. And your brain, if it can get you to buy into that story, then you can stay where you're at and keep creating what you have through no fault of your own, except for if you keep choosing it intentionally. You got to choose something different. And then the third one that keeps you stuck is being afraid of what other people are going to think of you when you try and create something new in your life. Being afraid of failing in front of other people. Like I said with my pickleball analogy, I was so afraid of failing in front of these ladies, but the cool part is they're so encouraging. They are amazing players. They're so encouraging, and they encourage me to be better. So instead of comparing and despairing, now I look to them and I watch what they're doing. I pay attention to how they're playing, where they're placing their bodies, from a place of, hey, if she can do that, so can I. Okay? So really, You want to recognize that what you want in your life is a worthy endeavor. Like I said, for so many of you, that is overcoming chronic fatigue. And yes, that is completely possible. Part of that is understanding how your specific body works, what unhelpful mindsets that you've developed over the years and adopted, and forgiving yourself for what has happened, forgiving your body for what's been going on, and learning how to do something new, learning how to relate to stressors and circumstances in your life in a new way, okay? It's believing in your infinite capacity to heal and get better. It's not like you just hit a certain age and then you lose your energy. This is one of the most common things that I hear people talk about. It has far more to do with your mindset and your nervous system regulation than the facts about your body. And I'll leave you with this tiny little story. One of the reasons I know this is because I follow this amazing lady on Instagram. I think her name is Dolphinine. I don't know if I'm saying that right. At 62 years old, she has had at least one kidney transplant. I don't know if she's had multiple. She decided that she wanted to be a bikini competition figure competitor. 62 years old, overweight, kind of, just living her life, just living her regular life. She's now 66 years old, and she has reached that goal. She looked around and decided she didn't want to stay where she was, and she wanted to create something new in her life. You can go follow her. She's got like 100,000 followers. She's transformed her body. She's transformed her energy because of what she believed about herself and her infinite capacity to change. So if you are wanting something that you don't have in your life right now, look for the people that do. And use that as an opportunity to compare yourself and dare for what you want to have happen in your life. Because if somebody else can create that, then we know it's created in your brain and in conjunction with how your nervous system is behaving in your body to any stressor. And these are all skills that can be learned. So if somebody else can create it, so can you. And if you are looking for somebody to help you overcome this chronic fatigue that you've been stuck in for so many years, I am your girl. I've been there. I've been in the trenches. And it doesn't mean that I don't get tired, but there's a difference between being tired and having chronic fatigue. So if you are looking to change that aspect of your life, I invite you to book a one-on-one call with me, a fatigue recovery call, where you are not longer going to be at the effect of your body's energy levels. In fact, you'll learn how to create and harness more energy in your life today. All right, have an incredible week, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.